Alright guys, welcome back to Farm Sim 22. Recap, this field here was oats, and I got that harvested and disked. And in the meantime, I started the field over here, and that is wheat. And I've had to buy 4 of the additional bigger silo extensions because this field is so big. And I've got another extra grain cart and combine. So here we got the 9250 Case IH, and I have the sorry, I'm trying to record this a different way. I haven't quite learned how to do it on the laptop yet, but there we go. I got a few mods in here. One of them is the extended exhaust mod. We'll get this guy going, and then just quick jump over here. I got the disc set up in the field ready to go as well. I got the Massey Ferguson 9T as well. And I don't like that it's all black, but hey, take what you can get. It's a couple thousand more liters of grain. Add another K620 Steiger quad track. But I was talking to my dad today, so I showed him this, and he liked the fact that I'm doing this. And I told him, I says, hey, or I asked him, I says, what do you think about doing stories of my life growing up on the farm? He says, that sounds like a good idea. So I figured each episode tell a story about my life growing up on my grandpa's farm. So to start off with, the backtrack, talked to my dad today, asking him some family history on the farm. Now, the whole family's farm was like 200 acres, 250 acres, if I remember correctly. And I may be a little over on that. But it goes back 4 generations. And technically, while I was working on the farm, it was 5 generations. But as in ownership, it was 4. And it goes back, if I remember right, to my dad saying today, it goes back to his 3rd great-grandfather. And so this land's been, this farmland property has been part of my family for a long, long, long time. And there has been the town I grew up in, or area I grew up in, has recognized my family's farm for being in the family for so many generations. So to start off, one of my first memories, and before I say any more about that, I have suffered from a stroke. Memories kind of an issue with me, so I may bounce around in these episodes of memories and stories of me growing up on the farm. But the first one I do remember, I was probably 4 or 5 years old. Going to the barn and helping Dad and Grandpa milk cows. Now, granted, I didn't get to do much because we was in a barn called a herringbone barn. And for some of you that don't know, a herringbone barn is a flat surfaced barn, and you're level with the cows. You get in between the 2 cows and change the milkers over. Move the hoses and the milker over to the next cow. Now, with that being said, we milked roughly between 38 and 48 cows, depending on the season. And we had 7 cows in the barn at a time, and we had 4 milkers. So you can imagine how long that took. It took a couple hours. But I remember one night that I enjoyed milking cows with my dad so much. Um, I came home and uh, mind you, my milk boots were clean, but I snuck my milk boots out of the kitchen, 'cause that's where we come in the house, and snuck them to my bedroom. And sitting there pretending that, I was milking cows. And so mom and dad caught me doing that, and uh, I thought it was kind of funny, and kind of embarrassing at the same time, because here I am acting like I'm milking cows, and honestly, to this day, I don't miss it. I don't miss the milking the cows. That's part of the reason why I got problems at such a young age now, uh, with my back and whatnot. But I think the neatest thing about milking the cows was, one, the milk drivers. We had awesome milk drivers, and to go with one of them stories, one of the milk drivers who's passed away now, and uh, it's funny how, ask him how he's doing. He's like, well, and he'd always braid the strings, because my dad would cut the strings by the knots and hang them up in the barn, and then later on make twine logs out of them. So it was kind of funny. It would frustrate my dad so much. But yeah, trying to finish this field up. But that was one thing I liked about milking the cows. But the other thing was, uh, the milkman, and it taught me to be tough, no matter the weather conditions and whatnot. And other than that, I didn't like milking the cows. I would rather be out in the field on the tractors with my dad. And another short story here, since we're only on going up on 7.5 minutes. One of the first times, and I know it was many times before this, but I remember riding on the tractor with my dad. We was feeding silage. It was late fall. It was getting cold, and we had a Massey Ferguson 4-wheel drive loader tractor, and it had 2 gear sticks, and the hydraulics for the loader was two metal pieces come out with round knobs, so you can sit there and literally run it like this. And I remember Dad hit that silage pile in the silage pit so hard that there was a handle right off the edge of the fender. We rode up on the fender, and the way it was, we faced my dad that was sitting in the seat. But he hit that silage pile so hard, because it was cold, and he's trying to break up the compacted silage in there, that I slid off the fender up and over that handle, and I had a death grip on that handle. That I landed down on the step, and by that time the tractor come to a stop, and I hit the ground. But luckily I landed on all feet, because I held on to that freaking handle just like a bull rider strapped into his freaking bull rope. And I remember Dad saying, "Well, you gotta hang on tighter." I was like, "Dad, how can I hang on tighter? I was hold it the whole time." But yeah, I that was one thing I won't forget as well. Um, I miss the moments on the farm. Um, and farm work is not an easy job. It's really not. These guys and ladies now, families are out all hours of the night, checking on their livestock, checking on their crops. Some crops call for a 12-hour set of irrigation. So if you go change your water at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock at night, you got to go change it again. And there's some crops that are even, you got to change them sooner than that. And bearing all types of weather. One of the jobs me and my brother had on the farm was taking care of the calves at a young age. 7, 8, 9, 10 years old was when we really started doing work. And we didn't actually start milking the cows till we was teenagers. And in a way, we kind of had to really step up the plate because my dad gained a hernia from working on the farm. That other combine's loaded over there. And so we really had to, buckle down and take responsibility because Dad had a hernia, and we needed to step up and make sure things was taken care of on the farm for when he did take the time to have this hernia surgery, that he knew we could step up the plate and take care of the task at hand. And deep down inside, I know he knew we could do it. Otherwise, we would have done like the time before when we had to go to Australia for my mom's family emergency, and we had to have some of the neighbor boys take care of the milking for us. And yeah, that's another thing, seeing the farming in Australia compared to here in the U.S. It's a lot different way how things are done and whatnot, but not so different that they're not out of the ordinary. But yeah, we'll carry on with another story later. I was hoping to finish this field, so hopefully we can get it finished up in the next episode. So, all right, guys, if you like hearing the stories, keep following along for another episode of it. Appreciate it. I'm going to try and keep it around 10 minutes. I've gone 2 minutes overboard. So, alrighty, guys, this is Code Red with Farming Simulator 22 and the Texas map. Hope to see you next time. See you later.